Hi, Robert Chuckrow here. We start out being taught things in an exaggerated way. So, for example, if you are learning Chinese and you are taught the tones, they're very exaggerated compared to what a native Mandarin speaker would say. So, for example, if you're being taught how to pronounce Qigong, you would be told to say it this way: Qi, Gong, Gong, instead of Qigong. And you need to have that exaggeration as a beginner of whatever it is that you do, whether it's learning to tie your shoelaces as a little kid or learning to write. All these things require exaggeration, otherwise you can't learn them. And in Taichi, when I was a beginner, everything was big circles, arms coming all the way down and hanging at the lowest point and coming up. And turns out that that's just the way beginners are taught. Eventually things become much tighter, much smaller. And by making them smaller, it makes it easier to do. Once you understand how to do it that way, you don't want to do the big movement because it's hard to do. And you can't do it right. You cannot do it right. So if you look at a book by Cheng Man-ch'ing called Master Cheng's New Method of Taichi Chuan Self-Cultiation by Mark Hennessy, who translated it, on page 42, he describes how to do compact movement. And after that, he says, I'm not going to say this again. Why would he say that? It means that it would need to be said again, but he's not going to say it, which means it applies to other moves. So let me give you some examples of how compact movement applies and what the advantages of doing it that way are. Let's start with the move roll back and press. So I'm in water off right, I turn to the right, and this is the way I learned it. Drop the arm all the way down, feel the weight, and then come up and press. And so you see a lot of people, and this is how they still do it. And then they come up this way and press. Instead, on page 42 that I mentioned, this is the way Cheng Man-ch'ing said to do it. See, the momentum goes into my upper arm. Not only is that easier because that momentum brings the arm into position, but it also brings the wrist into position because the rotation of the upper arm rotates the palm of the hand to be facing the floor. And all you have to do is add a tiny bit. Let's take another move. Step back to repulse the monkey. The way we learned it was this. Going all the way down. Instead of doing this. And now look where my arm is. Same thing. Same thing as roll back and press, but stepping backward. Brush knee. The way we learned it was this. Well, we didn't lift this hand. Low, everything low. And then people came up this way and did this and then that. Instead of this. Okay? As I turn back, my upper arm comes up. And this. There's so many moves in the form that are that way. They're all over the place. And so it's something that after you've done the form enough that you don't have to think of what comes next, start to feel that kind of action. And it changes everything. Believe me, it does. Thank you.